Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I have a big one, so I will get into it very quickly after first apologizing for how I look. It is February and it should be summer down here, but it is just starting to get cold, and so I have had to put a scarf on. Also, sorry if you can hear the heater, I've put that on as well, and sorry for this hoodie. But I'm cold. Also sorry for this monstrosity on my face. I don't like wearing makeup, and so I'm not going to kid you and hide it with makeup. But it's there, and yeah, let's get on with the video. Today I have an unhaul, but also a boxing video for you. Some of these videos are not mine and I'm giving back to the person who owns them. Some of them I am getting rid of, and some of them I'm just packing away in a box so that I can bring them out when I have a bigger bookshelf and a bigger house and more room to display books that I own. Anyway, let's move on. These are books that I am either getting rid of or not quite sure if I'm getting rid of, and the first one is Graham Greene's The Honorary Council. I picked this up for free, realizing I don't really like the look of it now, and so probably giving it away. The next one is The List Maker by Robert Klein. I've had this book for ages, picked it up a few times, didn't really like it. Don't think there's any point in keeping it, but Robert Klein, it did win an award and it is an Australian book, so I kind of feel guilty about throwing it away. The next one is It's Kind of a Funny Story by Ned Vizzini. I already have a copy of this book. This book says it's a library book. Don't know why I would have borrowed a copy if I already have a copy. So I might try and return it to a library, or I might just give it away. The next one is Aziz Ansari's Modern Romance. There's been a lot of stuff come out about Aziz Ansari that I don't love hearing, but of course I'm giving him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, not going into that whole situation. Gosh. But beside from that, I read this once. I feel like with this type of book, you only really need to read it once to get everything out of it, but also I kind of found it a bit repetitive. Funny, yes, at times, but a bit repetitive, so I haven't decided yet. I do really love the look of it though. That's what makes me want to keep it, and it really feels very nice. Moving on. Another book that feels nice is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Again, I read it once. I don't think I'm going to read it a second time, but it is popular, so I feel like I should keep it. Moving on to books that aren't mine that I'm giving back to the people who rightfully own them. The first three are books that I borrowed from my boyfriend with the intention of reading. One of them I did read, the other two I haven't read. Don't think I'll get through them before I return them. One of them is Neil Gaiman's Stardust, which I do want to read, but I think I'm going to return it to him and just borrow a copy because I'm scared that I will forget to return it to him. Yeah. Then I have Fly Away Peter by David Malouf, which I did read, can't really remember. Didn't hate it, just can't remember it. I was very tired on a bus. And the next one is Ulysses by James Joyce. I'm definitely not going to get through this before I give it back to him, and I don't know if I'm ever going to get through it, but it was worth a shot and I borrowed it. The next ones are ones that I took from my mum's shelf and are giving back because I already have copies of them. Yeah, I already have copies of all of these actually, and that is Antony and Cleopatra by Shakespeare, Macbeth by Shakespeare, Hamlet by Shakespeare, A School Guide of Macbeth, King Lear by Shakespeare, and then an abridged version of A Tale of Two Cities, which I do want to read, but I don't want to read the abridged version, so I'm going to return that because I didn't know that that is what it was. Now we have a pile of books that I am definitely unhauling, which is That Hideous Strength by C.S. Lewis, just because I don't particularly care about it. Also, Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. Yes, I hear that Brandon Sanderson is awesome, and yes, it sounds fine, but I struggle to get through fantasy, not because I don't enjoy it, but just because it takes me so long, and I'm already reading the Throne of Glass series, and that's taking me ages, and I just... In all honesty, I don't think I'm going to get to this ever, and yeah. In a similar vein, we have The Way of Shadows by Brent Weeks. I think I picked this up for a few dollars at a book sale because I'd heard a lot of Brent Weeks, but it is huge and it's part of a trilogy, and I just don't think I'm going to get through it ever, so I'm returning it. At the same bookstore, I think I got this Daggerspell, which again is a fantasy. It says volume 1 of a compelling fantasy saga. Daggerspell by Catherine Kerr. I hadn't heard about this before. I picked it up because I was in a real fantasy mood for a while, but again, I don't think I want to read it, so I'm returning it. I feel a little bad, but not really, because someone will get it who will prefer it more. Moving on. The next ones are books that I am definitely keeping because they mean a lot to me, but I am just saving some space on my bookshelf to add some more art and stuff. I don't know if you see, but of course you see. Who am I? I got a new bookshelf and I'm trying to display more art and things and not have it crowded and packed and everything. Anyway, the first one is Katie's Dream by Adrian Peniston Bird. The second one is The Diary of Anne Frank because I already have another copy. Third, we have Dick King-Smith's The Water Horse. Then we have Zack and Mia by A.J. Betts. This is a good book. Wasn't my favourite book of this style. It's a book about kids with cancer. Was very good, signed, interesting, so I'm keeping it, but don't need to display it for the moment. Next is, of course, 13 Reasons Why, the book everyone has, but I don't think I'm going to read it again in the next 2 years. Also, I nearly poked myself in the bloody eye. So I'm packing it away. Next we have, in that same pile, is just books that I read a lot as a small child. And when I say small child, I mean like 10, and I just don't want to give them up. And that is Sarah Dessen's short story book Infinity. The next 4 are all by Kathy Cassidy, who I absolutely loved as a child. And this is Lucky Star, Ginger Snaps, Angel Cake, and Sunday Girl. Amazing. Read them if you want some like trashy little romance books based on the lives of 12-year-olds. They're amazing. I read them all the time, but I decided that I need to stop doing that, so I'm packing them away. The next is Go Girl, Boys vs. Girls, because they don't use these illustrations anymore, and I'm never going to read this, and I probably won't pass it on to any offspring I have, because it's not particularly literature, but I had to keep it. We have Fim Family Moomintroll by Tove Jansson and Just Juiced by Karen Hesse, and I don't want to get rid of them, so I'm not going to. We are finally onto the final pile, which is books that I am keeping again, but just packing away. They're just, you know, a little bit older than the books I just showed you before. The first one is The Summoning by Kelly Armstrong. Then we have The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. Weirdly enough, this isn't my copy. I have a copy because I studied it in high school. Can't find my copy, so apparently I've now adopted this copy, but I'm packing it away anyway. The next ones are all ones that my mum gave me. They are kind of crappy romance books. They're good, but like, you know what I mean, quick reads. But based at a little bit of an older audience, and that is Can You Sue Your Parents for Malpractice by Paul A. Norma Klein's Mum, the Wolfman and Me. If I Love You, Am I Trapped Forever by M.E. Kerr. Remembering the Good Times by Richard Peck. And Beginner's Love by Norma Klein. As you can see by the cover, that's the type of book they are. I love them. They all have the same illustration and they're all by the same publisher. And I have a whole bookshelf still full of them, but those ones I wanted to keep on display because they are kind of fun. The second last one is Chinese Cinderella by Adeline Yen Ma. I've read this book 3 times. I love it. I've read the second one. I think it's so sad but so amazing. But as I said, I've read it 3 times. I don't need to have it on display right now. And the last one is Little Fur by Isabel Carmody. This book is beautiful. It feels beautiful. I only ever read the first one. Haven't read anything else by Isabel Carmody, but I don't need it on my shelf right now. Maybe I'll give it to my sisters so they can put it on their shelf and then take it back when I move out, but I am taking off mine for the moment. Anyway, that is my book unhaul. I think when I really get into uni and I start figuring out things a little bit more, I might do a bookshelf tour if you guys want me to do that, to show you how I organize my books. Not that they're very organized, but just what I meant with kind of making everything look a little bit prettier and not kind of becoming obsessed with looking super cool because I have, you know, bookshelves stacked and stacked and stacked with books, because that it didn't look nice. It didn't look nice. It just looked gross, and half of my books are inside my wardrobe anyway, so you can't see them. That is all. Sorry about that little rant. Anyway, I will see you again for another video soon.